Welcome, everyone. We're really excited to have you join us for our Experience VCC Virtual Open House event. My name is Mike, and I'll be your moderator today. Before we begin, I'd like to let you know that the session is being recorded. If you are deaf or hard of hearing and you need a sign language interpreter, we do have one available on hand. Just let us know in the chat, and we'll have an interpreter join us in the session. I'd like to take this opportunity in acknowledging that we are on the traditional and unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, the traditional territories of Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. This session is an opportunity for you to learn more about English as additional language. On our agenda, we have a program representative who will speak about the program for about 2 to 3 minutes. We'll then follow that up with a Q&A. The real value of the session is the Q&A, and we want to give you as much time as possible to ask any questions that you may have. If you do have any questions, please submit them in the Zoom chat. Just be sure to include the program you're interested in the chat question. If you are not able to answer your questions, or if you have any questions after the session, we do have a live advisor Zoom session that runs from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. today and tomorrow. Just go to vcc.ca/experience. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Ken, who will speak about the program. So over to you, Ken.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Hi, everyone. My name's Ken McMorris. I'm the department head. I'm a department leader of EAL. That's English as an additional or second language, as you can see there. Our department email is eal@vcc.ca. Anytime you have questions, you can email us. We try to get back to our students within a day. I'll just talk a little bit about our program. We are in an intensive program. ESL Pathways is our main program. It has 5 levels, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Level 8 is what students usually want because that's an alternative to English 12. So many of our students want to go into programs. If the program says English 12 or equivalent, that's level 8. And then level 9 is when students are probably thinking of, they want to go even higher or they want to go towards university transfer English. So we have that larger path into programs. But we're really proud of our program because, ESL Pathways, we get students ready, but we really focus on life in Canada and tasks that the average person might see themselves doing, whether it's, going to a lecture or working, maybe negotiating with someone or learning about human rights and talking to other people about that. We really focus it on real life practical tasks. But we also have a strong academic focus, a workplace focus, and personal general life focus. So that's generally our program. And we also separate reading and writing and listening and speaking so students can focus. If you want to study part-time, you take 1 class. If you want to study full-time, you can take 2 classes, work your way up. And then we have other short courses, so students can, if they want to get, say, I want more grammar, or I really love pronunciation or writing, we have some extra courses like that. They're just 8 weeks long, and they let students really focus on specific skills and get feedback from their teachers that way. So that's kind of the big picture of our program. But like Mike said, I think the big value is from people's questions. So.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ken. Before we jump into the Q&A session, I'd like to just bring to your attention, if you are interested in following VCCEAL or ESL, we do have a Twitter account. It's VCCESL. Okay, well, now go to the Q&A portion. So if you do have, go ahead, Ken.
We also have Facebook, and we also have a channel on the VCC YouTube.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you have a question, feel free to submit it in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer your questions in a timely fashion. Maybe Ken,
Mhm.
we've been using the term EAL and ESO. Maybe you can just explain the difference between the two?
Sure. Well, when you think of ESL, that's English as a second language. So second as a number 2. But for many people around the world, it's not the second language. It might be the third, fourth, or fifth language. Across Canada especially, we've been changing to EAL because it's more logical. But also when I was talking to students in a session like this, someone said, yes, second also sounds like second class. And we know that's absolutely not true. It's such a powerful thing to learn another language. So that's why we now say additional, so EAL. But it is the same thing. If you like saying ESL, that's okay. But that's why we say EAL.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Ken. We've got a question from JC.
Yeah.
Is there a minimal English level requirement to enter the program?
Well, our lowest level is level 5, and we use CLBs, Canadian Language Benchmarks, so similar to LINC. So our minimum would be if someone has finished CLB 4. So if you take the CLB assessment, that 4 is the minimum.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Anyone else with any questions? Question from Edward. What would be for the Duolingo?
Okay, I just have to open this up. Duolingo has a lot of scores on it, and so I don't memorize. So for Duolingo, the lowest would be 55. And because we have listening and speaking and reading and writing, that would be 55 conversation for listening and speaking and 55 literacy for reading and writing. And quite often students might be in different levels, and that's okay too.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Question from Jen. What is the difference between LINC and EAL? It's a good question.
It is a good question. We are very similar. We're both at VCC. We call ourselves sister departments because we're very close. And we both use CLBs. So you'll see academic, personal, workplace, similar types of tasks and exercises. The main difference is that LINC wants to help people settle into Canada. So that's the real goal for people who are newer to Canada, who need support, learning about banking and living in Canada. And LINC can go slowly. So if some students are having trouble, they can stop, they can review, they can do extra practice. In ESL pathways, our goal is to support students to get into programs. That's our main goal, to get into programs as quickly as possible. So speed is a part of this. So earlier I mentioned most of our students want to go into a program, or maybe they want to go to BCIT or Langara. And they want to do it quickly. So, and that's the big difference. Each of our courses has a lot of information and it goes pretty quickly. And if someone is having trouble, well, we can send that student to the Learning Center. There's other resources, but the class can't slow down. The class has to keep going so that we can prepare everybody for the end of the course. That's the big difference, the speed and intensity. Plus Pathways is accepted as an English 12 equivalent. So we have perhaps at levels 7, 8, and 9, we have a stronger focus on academic skills.
Okay, great.
Does that
Thanks, Ken.
make sense?
Ken, I wonder
Yes.
if you have any advice for students on what they can do to prepare before the course starts.
Before the course starts, that you don't have to do anything. when the class begins, your teacher will tell you how to get the materials. Our students can get most of the course handouts from the bookstore now, and the teacher will provide other materials as the course goes along. So you don't actually have to do anything before that, but if you want to, you can, go to the Learning Center, learn a little bit about VCC. If you're not sure about your typing skills, you might try to take some online typing exercises. So that could be something you could do.
Okay, thanks, Ken. I have another question from Edward, and then Yvonne. Let's start with Edward's question. Is it possible for the people who work with the rotative shifts to have some help with material or recordings or any other help? I'm telling you this because if you are not in class for more than 3 times, you're going to be asked to not go back.
Okay, so there's a couple parts to that question. Thank you for asking, Edward. The challenge is that our courses are intensive. And just like I said, there's a lot of material to learn, a lot of tasks. And so the class has to go quickly. And if a student is missing classes, that's going to make it harder for the student to be successful. So in general, the teacher will not ask you to leave. You're adults. You make your own decisions. The teacher might give you some advice. The teacher isn't going to say, oh, you've missed too many classes, get out. You've missed 3 times. No, we don't have a rule like that. But probably if you miss a little too much, the teacher will ask what's happening. I'll talk to you. It is difficult for the teacher to say, be flexible if someone is missing too much, because the teacher already has a lot to do and they can't go backwards, and it just takes too much time. Now, some teachers record their lessons and some teachers don't. Most teachers don't, just so you know. But most of our classes are blended, and that means you meet with your teacher 2 days a week on Zoom or in person, and 2 days a week is online or independent. So we use something called Moodle. So on the Moodle has a lot of exercises for students to catch up, review. That's our point of flexibility.
Okay, great. Edward, yeah, feel free to unmute yourself and
Hi guys, good afternoon. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Mike. Yes, as you were saying, one of the things is due to the nature of my job, I do the rotative shifts, which is working mornings, afternoons, and graveyards. But the thing is, like, I work 6-3, and by having that in mind, it's like some weeks are going to be different than others, right? You have, yes, I do understand that if you are not on class, it's going to be very difficult for everybody involved in order to just carry the dead weight. Let's put it that way, with all due respect, obviously. But because of the nature of my job, as I said, I have free time, but in a different time zones in comparison to everybody else. If I put myself in the position of like keep learning when in my free time, when everybody's sleeping, eating, or whatever, in order to keep up with that level, would that not be a problem? I would assume. I just want to have clarity towards it, because obviously I will be putting 100% of myself in order to just commit to that part. And I just don't want to, because of my job, that will be like something that is going to play against me, which is kind of like, I don't see it. I don't know. Maybe that might be a problem for somebody else. I don't know, but it's that's just my case. I do understand it is obviously different for everybody.
Yeah, no, thank you for explaining, Edward. And you're not the only one. Yeah, just so you know, I do understand. But it's not an easy answer or an easy issue to try to give a simple answer to. So the online days, those you can do anytime. But the times where you would meet the teacher in the class, those 2 days a week, those are set. And it's difficult to change those. For example, an evening teacher might be on a different lesson than the morning teacher. So I couldn't just switch you to the morning for a week and then to the evening for the next week.
Got it. So it's a blended. So it's online and in person, right?
Right, yes.
If I talk to each individual professor that I might have in order to just keep at least like emails or Zooms whenever it's possible, I get that it's going to be hard if it's Zooms, obviously, for one individual student, but at least like having that communication with the professor in order to let them know like how the advance is going, like just presenting all the assignment that I might have, like blah, blah, blah. Is it that possible?
You know, it is possible. And some teachers teach the same class in the morning and evening. And if you have one of those teachers, they might be willing to let you move.
Got it.
I can't promise.
No,
but,
no problem. No promises taken. I get that. It's
yes,
just.
but it is possible, yeah, because we know it's not easy. It's not easy to fit in to something like that for everybody. So we do try to be flexible, but like I said, we can't promise everything, right?
Yeah, nothing is for granted in this life. Don't worry about it. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Edward. Yvonne has a question here. What happens if I don't meet the entry requirements?
That's a really good question, Yvonne. Thank you. So what we might do, so we might try two things. So you notice we have the grammar and pronunciation courses. We actually have beginner levels for those. So I might recommend a student could start at the beginner level to build up their skills and then take another assessment. So that's one opportunity. Another is to set up a meeting with a department leader. If we see that your scores are close, we might talk to you to find out, to assess you ourselves a little bit. And another, if you're a permanent resident or refugee, I would recommend students go to LINK until they get up to finish level 4, because LINK starts at lower levels. So there's a couple of options.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Another question from JC. Thank you for answering my previous question. Where can I take the Canadian Language Benchmark Placement Test? And is Duolingo the application? Does VCC also consider TOEIC scores as well?
Now, to take the CLB assessment, you have to go through LINK. Okay, so I would contact them. Don't tell them that you want to take EAL. Say that you're interested in LINK. That's all I can say about that. Duolingo is the official test that VCC recommends for students who don't have any type of assessment. So to take the Duolingo, you would email assessments@vcc.ca. And they can give you instructions about how to do the Duolingo. Now for TOEIC scores, VCC does not, but our department can take different assessments and we will review them, and then we can give department approval. Okay, that doesn't mean we automatically accept everything. It means that we will take it, we'll look at it, we'll meet the student, and then make a decision. So we might be able to accept TOEIC. But if you apply to VCC only, they have a short list of assessments that they will accept.
Thanks, JC. JC, Aziz has just added a link for advising drop-in session. So you may want to reach out to them. It's a drop-in session. It runs today and tomorrow from 9:30 to 4 p.m. So we do encourage you to attend that. Or you could book an appointment with an advisor. They'll most definitely be able to answer these questions for you. I've got another question here. Can you maybe explain? Oh, okay. There's. Oh, sorry. That's Angela. Sorry. Can you explain what students can expect to do on a daily basis?
So on a daily basis, like I said, we're blended. So if 2 days a week you're meeting your teacher, it might be on Zoom or it might be on campus. We have both options. So basically you go to class and your teacher might give you handouts or exercises. They'll teach a little bit. You do a lot of interaction with other students. One of the best ways is to learn is by teaching and sharing and working with others. So that's a valuable part of the learning. We also have a computer lab and audio lab. So we use a lot of technology in our classes. And then quite often we give assessments. Now in our courses, we don't have midterm exams or final exams. We have assessments probably every week or at minimum every other week. And the assessments are so teachers can see what you can do and give you feedback. Okay, so, and at the end of the term, you have all of this feedback and then you will know, or your teacher will know and talk to you about it, about whether you're ready to go to the next level. So that's kind of a typical day. And on the online day, we use an online platform called Moodle, and there will be a variety of tasks. Some of it will be working with other students. There might be vocabulary review or grammar review, quizzes and other types of practice, and also sometimes assessments. And so that's kind of a day-to-day expectation. Oh, plus, don't let me forget our favorite thing, homework. Because we have so much information, students must expect to do a significant amount of homework to be successful. And really, it's just to benefit the students. Doing that extra review, practice, preparation for the next class is key to really getting the information and skills that students need. So probably an hour a day homework is what I would expect minimum.
Anyone else have any questions?
Yes, guys. I have a question regarding with a schedule. For doesn't matter, like let's assume that it's a 5, a 6, a 7 level, 8 level, doesn't matter. I see that you have different days. I see the online campus and well, the online versus the campus. I see 3 classes, for example. So let's start with the simple one, which is the 5. And in this case is April to June. I know that we are not going to apply to those now. But as you said, like 2 online classes and 2 in-person classes. If I see in the first, this is in the PDF that I was shared before, listening and speaking, I have 3 of those here, which is Tuesday and Thursdays, and Monday and Wednesdays, which is, okay, I see that 2 of them are online. So should we decide which one of those we want? And the other one is obviously we're not going to assist. And the other one will be like, if it's online, we need to choose one of those between the options that we have there. Is that how it works? It might be self-explanatory, but I just wanted to be sure about that.
Oh, gosh, I'm wondering if I have an example schedule.
For example, the 7 is like 2 online and 2 campus. So we just choose one of those and that's it. And if we stick to that, we're like literally set there for the rest of the course.
Well, yes, you would choose the class and say, for example, well, a 7RW class might be fully online, but 2 days a week you meet your teacher in the morning and 2 days a week is online, independent. And yeah, and that's set for the whole term.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Ken.
Can I mention one thing? So it's too late to apply for pathways this term, but it's not too late to apply so you can take our grammar, pronunciation, or writing classes. They start in May and they're just 8 weeks. They're also free tuition. They have different levels, intermediate and advanced, different times. They're all online this term. Now, they might sound boring if you think, oh, grammar.
It doesn't sound boring
yay.
at all. At all. Sounds exciting. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I really think about that.
Okay, I actually think so too. I love grammar. But I wanted to say your students don't just sit and do grammar exercises or pronunciation exercises. There is homework that students can do those exercises, but in class, it's a lot of interaction. These are really communication classes where students can get focused practice and focused feedback on grammar or pronunciation or writing.
Okay, so that will be the electives. And I see that you have the pronunciation, the grammar, and the writing, which is divided in those three. Is it possible to take them all?
If you don't take a pathways class, yes, you can take them all. It just depends on your schedule, if you're available.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the huge issue with me.
Yeah, particularly with you, but with anybody too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. I thought that it might just be taking one or two, not 3 out of 3. I think that I was told that it's just you can just take 2 out of 3, not 3 out of 3.
Well, if someone is studying a pathways class and they take 3 electives, then for that person, they might have a challenge trying to do everything.
Yeah,
that's why. But
yeah. But sorry to interrupt, Ken and Mike. The thing is, like, obviously, if you're not in the term right now, like starting or the term that started here in April, but you're going to, if you're going to, let's assume that you are going to start on September, and I assume that that's 2 months, which is like 8 weeks. So you will have time to just do 3 electives, right? So you will not have an extra amount of homework, etc., etc. So that's what I'm asking. Like, it's possible to just do the 3.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Yeah, Edward, and everyone, I'd also suggest that if you do speak on with advisor, it may help if you share with them, you know, what are you trying to achieve? What are your goals? Is it for a career path, or is it just to build on your education? It might help if you tell them where you want to go, and then they can help set a path for you.
Got it. Measurable objectives. Yep.
Okay, good questions, Edward.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Ken, thanks for sharing your Facebook group. It's facebook.com/groups VCCESL. And Ken,
Yes.
do students are they able to interact with each other then?
A little bit. Right now, we're just beginning it.
Okay.
So we're working on what we can do.
Okay, great. And we'll definitely update our social media directory on the VCC website.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just getting the YouTube playlist, which is also on the VCC channel.
Right, you launched a number of new videos, so I do recommend everyone. Yeah, they look great. Okay, anyone else with any questions? Do check out the YouTube videos. There's Q&A sessions in a few of them, so quite helpful, I'm sure. Ken, maybe can you tell us typically how many students are in a class?
So the maximum size is 24, and probably except for COVID, our average class is between 18 to 22 students is what I would expect.
Any other questions? No, again, don't be shy.
Yes.
Oh,
I
Edward.
have another one. I'm just reviewing documents and screenshot that I just take. As regarding with the part on if you are doing everything online, and let's say even if you are going to the campus for if you have to just go on in person, I saw that you have you pass, kind of like, I don't know if that's mandatory or not, because if I have a vehicle and I want to spend like 400 more for a pass that I will never use because I have a vehicle, I don't know if it's like mandatory to just pay for that or not. I know that it might not be the right person to ask, but hey, I just have the question.
Yes, if we had an academic advisor here, they would be jumping in, but I can answer that one. So if a student is studying full-time in Pathways and any of their classes are on campus, then they must pay for the UPass.
Gotcha.
If they're studying fully online, so nothing on campus or part-time, then they cannot get the UPass. And this is between the VCC Students Union and BC Transit. So VCC just follows the rules that they set.
Okay, any other questions?
Can I share my email address, Mike?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah. Just in case anyone, if you have questions later or you're thinking, oh, I didn't want to ask this or something comes up. So you can also email our department or email me directly. There's my email address, or our department, which is also on the PowerPoint. And we really try to get back to students as quickly as possible. And we meet with students and applicants regularly. So you're not bothering us at all.
That's good to know. Thanks, Ken. Okay, well, thanks very much, everyone. I've got just a few more wrap-up slides before we finish up. Again, if you do have any questions, then feel free to contact Ken directly or the department at eal@vcc.ca. I'd like to bring to your attention some services for students. We have advising services, financial aid, Indigenous services, disability services, counseling services, and free professional tutoring. Just go to vcc.ca/services and you'll see all those options. For next steps, I do recommend you attend an info session. They'll be posted on our website at vcc.ca/info. You can meet an advisor, as I mentioned earlier. We do have the drop-in sessions happening today, 9:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock. So you've got about 20 more minutes left if you'd like to squeeze a session in today. We also have the same hours for tomorrow from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Or you could book an appointment with an advisor if you need a little bit more of a one-on-one approach. If you're ready to jump right in and apply, just go to vcc.ca/apply, and we'd be thrilled to have you join our family. On that note, if you do apply for it today, we will waive the application fee of $35. Please note this is for domestic students only, and it's limit 1 per person. Just go to vcc.ca/apply and enter the promo code info0422. So that's a 04, info0422. Okay, that's it. Well, thanks everyone. I hope you have all a great day, and we look forward to hearing from you again, and look forward to have you join us if you are interested in signing up for an EAL program. And thanks, Ken, for all your expert answers, and everyone else, thanks for your questions. Bye now. Bye, everyone.